Have you ever sat in a restaurant and didn't know what to say? Hey, and welcome back to the English Adventure Podcast. It's really nice to have you here today. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Lily. It's really nice to be here again. I always enjoy recording a new episode. Yeah, I remember my first time. I was a bit nervous too.
Yeah, I think many people feel like that. A few days ago, I went out to eat, just a normal restaurant. And while I was sitting there, I had a thought. I thought, this is exactly the kind of situation where many learners feel unsure. You look at the menu, you want to say something, but you're not sure. What do I say? How do I order? What if I don't understand something? And then I thought, why not create an episode about this? A simple, clear episode with useful phrases, vocabulary, and real life situations, so you can grow step by step and feel more confident in moments like this.
Yeah, I really like that idea. Because it's not just about learning words, it's about using them in real situations. And a restaurant is perfect for that. It's something many people experience, but it can feel a little stressful at first. And when you don't know what to say, even simple things feel difficult. But when you understand a situation and you know a few simple phrases, everything becomes easier. And step by step, you start to feel more confident.
Perfect. So let's imagine something together. You have a plan, you want to go out to eat, maybe with a good friend, a colleague, someone you like. Not a date, just a normal situation. You walk to the restaurant, and now the first question comes. Did you make a reservation? Because in many restaurants, this is important, but not always.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes you need a reservation, especially when it's busy. But often you can just walk in. You try your luck and see what happens.
Exactly, and that's a very real moment for many learners. You stand at the entrance, someone looks at you, and now it's your turn to speak.
Yeah, that moment can feel a bit unexpected because you know you need to say something, but maybe you're not sure what.
So let's keep it simple. You just need one clear sentence. For example, hi, table for two, please.
Yeah, that's easy. Or you can say, do you have a table?
Exactly. And if you already made a reservation, you can say, we have a reservation.
That already sounds very natural. And the good thing is, you don't need more than that.
No, just simple and clear. And then they will respond. Maybe they say, of course, or just a moment.
Or sometimes, sorry, we are full.
Yeah, that can happen too. But let's stay in the positive version. You walk in and they show you a table.
You follow them, you look around, maybe you see other people eating, talking, laughing.
And you sit down. That's already a big step because you did the first interaction.
Yeah, and that already built a bit of confidence. You spoke, they understood you, and everything worked.
And now you are at the table. You sit down, you look around, and usually the next thing happens.
The menu.
Yes, someone brings you the menu or it's already on the table. And now this is the next moment where people feel a bit unsure.
Yeah, because now you have to understand things. Not just speak, but also read and decide.
Yeah, you open the menu and you see different sections: starters, main dishes, drinks, desserts.
And sometimes you don't know every word.
That's completely okay. You don't need to understand everything. Just look, take your time, and focus on simple things.
Yeah, and if you're not sure, you can ask.
Yes, something simple like, what do you recommend?
Or even, what is this?
Yes, that works. You don't need perfect sentences.
And while you look at the menu, something else happens.
You start thinking, what do I want?
Yeah, that moment when you look at everything and you're not sure.
Maybe you feel a bit hungry. Everything looks good, and you can't decide.
I know that feeling. You look at one thing, then another, and then you go back again.
Exactly, and that's completely normal. You don't need to decide fast.
Yeah, just take your time.
And at some point, you look at the menu, you think about it, and slowly you start to know what you want. Maybe not everything, but at least one thing feels right.
Yeah, and that's enough. You don't need the perfect choice, just something simple to start with.
Correct. And then this moment comes. Someone comes to your table, maybe a waiter or a waitress, and they ask you something like, "Are you ready to order?"
Yeah, and that's the moment where many people feel a bit nervous again, because now you have to speak.
But the good thing is, you only need a few simple phrases. For example, "I would like."
Yeah, I would like is very common, very polite, and very easy to use.
You can say, "I would like a pizza," or "I would like a salad."
Or you can use another structure, can I have?
Absolutely. "Can I have a coffee?" or "Can I have a burger?"
And there is one more, very natural, I'll take.
Yes, "I'll take the chicken." That sounds totally fine.
And this is important. You don't need only one sentence. You can choose what feels good for you.
Right. And this is also a good moment to notice some vocabulary. Words like order, menu, or dish.
Yeah, and dish is a good one. It just means the food you choose.
So when you say main dish, that's your main food, the big part of your meal.
And drink is also important because often they ask, what would you like to drink?
Exactly. And then you can answer the same way. "I would like water," or "Can I have a juice?"
So now you order your food. You say your sentence and they understand you.
And that already feels good because you spoke and it worked.
Yeah, but sometimes you want to change something.
True. And this is very normal. Maybe you don't like onions or cheese, or something is too spicy.
And again, you can keep it very simple.
For example, "Without onions, please."
Yeah, that's a great one. Very short, very clear.
Or you can say, "Can I get this without cheese?"
Without cheese, it wouldn't even be an option for me, but everyone has to decide that for themselves. But yes, if you're not sure, you can also ask. For example, is this spicy?
Sorry, was still at the cheese part. And yes, that's a very useful question.
And sometimes you just want to change something. Then you can say, can I change this?
Yes, and most of the time, people will help you. They understand what you mean.
So now you ordered your food. You wait a little, you talk, you look around.
And then your food arrives.
Yeah, that's always a nice moment. The food looks good, you feel hungry, and you're ready to eat.
And again, you don't need big sentences, just small reactions.
Like, this is good.
Or "It tastes nice."
Or simply, I like it.
Exactly. Very simple, but also very natural.
And sometimes you talk with your friend. You say things like, this looks good, or I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
And now you're sitting there, eating, talking, everything feels more relaxed.
At the beginning, it felt a bit unsure, but now it feels easier.
Because you already did the important parts. You walked in, you spoke, you ordered, you changed things if needed.
Exactly. Step by step, you moved through the situation.
And now you're just enjoying your meal. And while you're sitting there, eating, talking, enjoying the moment, sometimes small things can happen.
Yeah, not everything is always perfect, and that's part of real life too.
Maybe something is missing or something is not what you expected.
For example, you look at your food and you think, this is not what I ordered.
Yeah, that moment can feel a bit uncomfortable. You don't want to be rude, but you also want the right food. I mean, you specifically chose it and looked forward to it, right?
Absolutely. And again, you don't need complicated sentences. You can just say, "Sorry, this is not what I ordered."
Or, I think this is wrong. That's also simple and clear.
And if you don't know what to do next, you can just say, "Can you help me?"
Yeah, that works in many situations. People understand you and usually they want to help. Unless you want the food without cheese, but that's another topic. Sorry, I'm just joking.
Maybe that would really be worth its own episode. Cheese, yes or no? What do you think, J listeners? But back to the topic. Sometimes it's not wrong, just different. Maybe the food is too spicy or not what you expected.
Exactly. And that's okay. You can always say something simple and the situation becomes easier.
And then, after some time, you finish your food. You sit there, maybe you take a drink, and you feel a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, and maybe you say something like, this is good, or I like it.
Or just, "That was nice." Small sentences, but very natural.
And now the next step comes.
Yeah, paying.
This is also important because, again, you need a simple sentence.
You can say, "Can we get the bill, please?"
The bill is the paper with the price of your food and drinks.
Correct. Everything you ordered, your food, your drink, is on that bill.
And then when you want to pay, you can ask, "Can I pay by card?"
Or, "Do you take cash?"
Very simple, but very useful.
And if you think back, the whole situation started with the menu.
The menu is the list of food in the restaurant. You see things like starters, main dishes, desserts, and drinks.
So at the beginning, you look at the menu, then you order your food, then you eat, and at the end, you pay the bill.
Step by step, everything connects.
And each step is just a few simple words.
At the beginning, it can feel a bit scary.
But then you try,
You say one sentence,
then another one,
and you stay just a little longer.
one more sentence.
And suddenly, the situation feels different.
Not perfect, but easier.
And that is enough for now. And above all, another step for you to improve your English and to build confidence in your English.
That was really nice. I enjoyed that. You know, I often go to coffee shops, sit there with friends, and just enjoy a coffee together. And while we were talking, I had a thought.
Again?
Yeah, maybe again. What I wanted to say is a coffee shop episode could be really helpful too, right? What do you think, dear listeners? Write it in the comments. Which places or situations would help you most?
You know, Lily, now that we talked so much about food and ordering, I'm actually getting a bit hungry.
Yeah, same here. So maybe we should go and get something to eat. And while we're there, we can already think about the next episodes.
Cheese, coffee. Sounds like a good plan. Have a nice evening, everyone. And remember, not everything at once. Step by step. We're here with you.
Exactly. See you next time. Bye.